Hello fitness family, it is Joel, and today I'm going to show you how to get rid of something called bursitis of the greater trochanter of your femur. So, if I'm kneeling, the greater trochanter of your femur is a bony protrusion that's pretty much right around your pocket. So, if you take your hands and you push in around your pocket, you should feel two bones that stick out. Now here's the thing, that bone sticks out, and then I have a muscle called my TFL right here, and then I have a muscle called my glute medius right here. They converge together right over my pocket, and then they turn into my IT band. My IT band goes down and inserts into my tibia right here. It's a very important structure. It does a lot of things. It stabilizes my knee anytime my knee bends. So let's say it turns off. If it turns off, my knee is going to be more likely to collapse, and I'm going to put more pressure in my knee. So actually, if these areas are damaged, the knee and the lower back are going to hurt more. But also too, if that whole strip is tight, your IT band is going to rub a bursa sac that covers the greater trochanter of your femur. When it rubs up against the bursa sac will inflame, and when it's inflamed, the pain receptors will be really active, and you're gonna have pain and it'll hurt. And again, it'll hurt right here. But guess what? You can get rid of it really easily if you just have a little knowledge and a ball. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you 2 releases, and then I'm gonna show you a stretch sequence that will get rid of it pretty much immediately. It'll reduce the tightness, which will stop the rubbing, which will reduce the inflammation, which will stop the pain. So you're gonna take a ball, and I wanna target my TFL and my glute medius over here. So around this pocket area, more towards the waistband area than down low. My greater trochanter of my femur is here. I actually don't want to put the ball on that because I will just exacerbate the issue, and I'll stress that bursa sac out more. So I'm going to go above in this area. I'm going to lay down with the ball in this little nook in my hip. My arm will be straight. My left leg is bent, and I'm going to now push my weight over onto the ball. Now it should be in a tender pocket. So I'm going to use this leg to control my body, and I'm going to move around until I find the most tender area. And I actually found one. So let's say it's really tender where I am right now. What I'm going to do is, this is my right leg. I'm going to press my right leg into the ground. Boom, my glute will turn on. The ball is getting pushed out of my glute. Then I'm going to exhale and relax. The ball is going to sink into that pocket. And what's happening is I'm pinning my TFL or my medius, depending on where you are. I'm pinning those fibers in between the ball and my hip bone, my ilium. And then when I ask them to relax, they're going like this. And when I ask them to squeeze by pressing my ankle into the floor like that, I'm asking them to do this. And what that does is that flosses the tissues in between those two surfaces, pulls scar tissue off, it pulls tight fascia off, and allows all of the blood flow to fill in that area so it can heal, and it allows the nerves to have a free channel down the outside of my leg so everything functions. So I'll spend like 2 minutes releasing my hip, and I'm actively releasing it by squeezing my butt, by pressing my right ankle into the floor, and then exhaling and relaxing. You could honestly spend a few minutes on each hip. It's really important. There's a lot of nerves and blood vessels that can be compressed in that area, and those are your strongest body parts in general. So if you want to, you can keep scanning around and look for a tender area. If you want to get more on your TFL, you step the leg over and you pull the bottom hip back a little bit, and that'll suck the ball towards the front side area of your hip right into the TFL. Then I do the same action. I press my my straight leg into the floor. That makes the muscles under the ball squeeze. I exhale and I relax and let it sink in. So you can spend, I'd say, 2 to 5 minutes releasing each hip, breaking up as much scar tissue as possible. One way you can know you're doing it effectively is it'll hurt less while you're doing it. If you have a tremendous amount of damage, it'll take a lot longer to break up all the tissue. It'll probably hurt for several sessions. This is a foam roller. I'm making this video for Anton. He fell skateboarding and hurt. He has bursitis in the greater trochanter of his femur. I want to help him get rid of it. If you use a battle star, that's cool. It's going to be really intense if you're injured. This is like a pretty dense foam roller, but it's foam. So now I want to hit my IT band, which isn't a muscle. It's just a dead matrix of tissue that connects my strong hip muscles with my knee, with my tibia to be precise. So I'm going to go elbow down, and I have my right leg straight, and I can either step over or back. You can see where it's the most tender. If I step over, I'm on my quad and my IT band. If I step back, I'm on my my bicep femoris, which is the lateral hamstring, and my IT band. So I'll find a really tender area by rolling. So I'm rolling to scan for damage. I'm using pain as data to let me know where I have the most damage. For me, it's pretty tender right here. So I'm gonna stop right here. Now I'm gonna bend my right leg and then extend my right leg. And I'm gonna go slowly, and I'm gonna make sure that I can breathe. And what's happening is, I'm changing the length of my IT band over and over again. So I'm making it pool in between my femur and the foam roller, and that removes scar tissue. It pulls tight layers of fascia away from the muscle, and it allows blood flow to get down my entire leg, which is really important because my peroneus, that helps stabilize my ankle and create plantar flexion. If the nerves and blood vessels are compressed on the lateral side of my leg, they're gonna not really, I won't have good innervation down the outside of my leg. I won't get good blood flow to any of those muscles. Okay, so I released my hip. Now I just flossed my IT band. So the third thing is you're gonna do something called a super squat. For the super squat, you're gonna step a leg in front of you, and I'm going to pin that foot down to mobilize my ankle. Then I'm gonna drive my knee out as far as I can. I'm gonna feel pulling in my hip. Maybe I'll feel some stuff in my hamstring. I've gained a little weight and I don't wanna break these shorts. But try to drive your knee out as far as you can. Then I move my left hand to the left and I twist away. It's storming, but you might be able to hear my back crack. Twist away as far as you can. We'll hold it for like 5 breaths there. Then bring this hand over top of the right leg. Left hand goes on the right foot. And now I'm going to twist and look over my right shoulder at my left foot. I'm going to feel a tremendous pull in the back of my right hip, and that's awesome. That's why I'm doing this. Then I'm going to go to the middle. When I go to the middle, I am going to roll my ankle now. This is going to stretch the peroneus on the outside of my calf, and I drive my knee out as far as I can as I let my hips relax. And what I'm doing right now is I'm engaging my TFL, my glute medius, and they're actively pulling on my IT band. So I release the tissues, now I'm mobilizing them. That is how I bring function to it. So I just showed you, for time's sake, I just showed you everything on my right leg. Do it on both. Love both of your legs. Keep them for as long as you can. And thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you guys next time.